Gary Webb, San Jose Mercury News.
You believe in conspiracy theories, Gary?
No, I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Conspiracies, yes. If I believe it, there's nothing theory about it.
This story is something that you were attached to very early on. Was this an important story for you to tell?
Yes, it was. And it's because I knew nothing about it. And growing up right around the corner, literally, from where it all transpired, made it even more sort of shameful and sparked me to want to tell it.
Jeremy was already attached. I really wanted to work with him. And I was really not only moved by Gary Webb's life story, but also I couldn't believe I didn't know it. You know, so I was happy to be part of sharing that story with the world.
Which is a big thing you experienced leaving this movie, is that this is probably something that we should be paying a bit more attention to.
Yeah, and that we should have heard something about. Well, you seem really young, so maybe you shouldn't have known the story, but I should have known the story, yeah.
I think the greatest gift that I could ever receive is like when people see the movie, then they want to, can't tell everything, because Gary Webb still has not told the whole story, and he's dead because of it. But yeah, if people can go you have a voice and you have power to go do things. You can go investigate something and just be informed at least. That's a huge thing. If people just got informed, no matter what it was.
Well, I was lucky enough to sit down with Sue Webb, who's alive and well and living in Northern California. And the big takeaway for me, because my character's she's not involved with the story in the way of the movie in terms of the CIA and this and that. She's involved with Gary and what it's doing to her husband and to her family. And the big takeaway from me was just what a mama bear this woman was, and just how fiercely she loved her children and her husband.
Was neat seeing his desk, and I noticed Hunter S. Thompson poster at the desk. And I'm curious if that was sort of an in to discovering his brand of journalism.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, that and like maybe some of the Imata Hoople and like some of the bands he liked, and he's a rebel in a lot of ways. He didn't really he kind of went against the grain a lot. You can tell even in his reporting. He always stood on the platform of good, ruffling feathers. If you're not ruffling feathers, then you're not really doing your job.
There's also a very nice even-handedness to sort of showing that everyone has faults.
And to me, the biggest one was, him as a husband with any infidelity, and then as a journalist, being courageous and badass as he was, that there was oversimplification and some hyperbole, which led to a lot of misinterpretation.
Whenever it's a biopic, you're talking about the true timeline, what you're trying to put in the movie, what you might fudge a little bit, because they had, whether they were in a good place in their marriage or whether it was rocky, and then you make some decisions. But I feel like ultimately in terms of things like chemistry and stuff, when you're working with someone that's super talented, it's just a thing about being open, and Jeremy is,
There's a very realistic family unit at the center of this film, and you're working with Rosemarie DeWitt.
Yes.
She's playing a real character, but she's also sort of representing everything that Gary Webb stands to lose.
Well, Rosemary is like as easy as a Sunday morning to get along with and to work with, and so we got along straight away, and we didn't have a lot of time to spend together before we started shooting, so we got very lucky with her. And then with the kids, with the family, it was it's important. These are things that, that I gravitated to understand him. This is what's at stake ultimately, his job, and then his family, and then his own life. But yeah, to me, it's a huge thing. And I know some people have a little like, I don't understand why. Some people want more of a thriller, and I personally like the family aspect of it the best.
We'd never threaten your children, Mr. Webb.
What'd you say?
It's over.
I'm not finished with it! I'm not finished!
This is a true story. Some stories are just too true to tell.
Where you be for the revolution?